How to Love Yourself Again. A story that will change the way you see you. There was a woman named Emily who, on the outside, seemed to have it all. She had a steady job, a cozy apartment, and friends who cared about her. But inside, Emily was struggling. She felt hollow, unworthy, and disconnected from herself. Every morning, she would wake up and look in the mirror. But instead of seeing the person she wanted to be, she saw someone flawed, unremarkable, and undeserving. Emily's life had not always been this way. As a child, she had dreams that sparkled with possibility. She loved painting, writing, and imagining worlds far beyond her small town. But as she grew older, she began to listen to the voices around her. Voices that told her to be practical, don't be too much, and don't dream too big. Slowly, Emily started to shrink, trying to fit into expectations that were not her own. The real breaking point came one rainy afternoon when she was sitting at her favorite cafe, staring out at the gray sky, notebook open but pen still. She was thinking about the countless opportunities she had let slip by because she doubted herself. That day, she felt a weight she could no longer ignore. She had lost touch with the person she was meant to be. And worst of all, she had lost love for herself. For weeks, Emily tried to push the feelings aside, convincing herself that work, social obligations, and distractions would fill the void. But the more she ignored it, the louder the emptiness became. She realized that no one could fix this for her. Not her friends, not her family, and certainly not anyone she might date. The only person who could change her life was herself. Emily knew she needed a plan, but she didn't know where to start. The first step was admitting the truth. She was unhappy and disconnected from her own heart. That realization, though painful, was also strangely liberating. It was the first spark of self-love, the acknowledgement that she mattered enough to take her own feelings seriously. She decided to start small. Every morning, Emily began writing a single sentence in her journal. I am worthy. At first, it felt awkward, almost absurd. How could she be worthy when she felt so broken? But she wrote it anyway, trusting the process. Each morning, as the ink spread across the page, she noticed a tiny shift, a quiet whisper inside her saying, maybe I am. Next, Emily took herself on walks. Not the hurried walks to catch the bus or run errands, but slow, intentional walks where she allowed herself to notice the world around her. The way sunlight reflected off the puddles after rain, the gentle rustle of leaves, the laughter of children in the park. She began to appreciate life again, not as a series of tasks to complete, but as a gift to experience. One day, while walking through a local art gallery, Emily stumbled upon a painting that made her stop in her tracks. It depicted a woman standing alone on a cliff, staring at a horizon lit with vibrant oranges, pinks, and golds. The painting seemed to say, you are stronger than you know. You are capable of standing tall even when the wind tries to push you down. Something inside Emily clicked. She realized that loving herself again wasn't about fixing all her flaws or becoming perfect. It wasn't even about achieving some grand goal. It was about embracing herself as she was, even with her imperfections, and choosing to stand tall despite her fears. Emily started saying no more often. She stopped overcommitting to things that drained her and began spending time doing what nourished her soul. Painting, journaling, walking, and connecting with people who lifted her rather than drained her energy. She began meditating, sitting quietly for 10 minutes each day, learning to listen to her thoughts without judgment. But self-love, Emily realized, wasn't a straight path. There were days when the old insecurities crept back in. Days when she would look in the mirror and feel that familiar sting of inadequacy. On those days, she had to fight for herself, reminding herself of the progress she had made, the small victories she had achieved, and the fact that her worth was not determined by mistakes or setbacks. One afternoon, Emily received a message from an old friend who had always been critical of her choices. Instead of feeling the old fear of judgment, Emily felt calm. She responded kindly but firmly, asserting her boundaries and choosing her peace over approval. For the first time in years, she felt the power of self-respect, of standing up for herself without guilt or fear. As weeks turned into months, Emily's transformation became more visible, not only to herself but to those around her. She carried herself differently, with a subtle confidence that radiated warmth. Her laughter returned, unforced and genuine. She started reaching out to old passions she had abandoned, like painting and writing. and even shared her work online. The positive feedback was encouraging, but what mattered most was the joy it brought her, not the approval it received. One evening, Emily stood in front of her mirror and smiled. Not the hesitant, half-hearted smile she once gave, but a full, honest smile. She looked into her own eyes and said aloud, "I love you. I am proud of you. I am enough." It was a moment of profound self-recognition. Emily realized that self-love wasn't a destination. It was a daily practice, a conscious choice she made every morning, every afternoon, and every night. Emily's journey wasn't about erasing the pain of her past. It was about honoring it, learning from it, and letting it fuel her growth. She forgave herself for the times she had doubted her worth, for the opportunities she had let slip, and for the harsh words she had spoken to herself in moments of despair. With forgiveness came freedom, and with freedom came joy. Soon Emily noticed another beautiful change. Her relationships began to improve, not because she tried harder, but because she no longer sought validation from others. She attracted people who respected her boundaries, celebrated her victories, and supported her growth. Friends who had drifted away because of her insecurities returned, drawn to the new light she carried. Emily also found courage to chase dreams she had shelved long ago. She enrolled in an art class, joined a writing workshop, and even started volunteering at a local community center. Every step she took was a testament to the fact that loving herself again wasn't selfish. It was necessary for living a full and meaningful life. One rainy evening, much like the day she first acknowledged her emptiness, Emily sat in her favorite cafe with her journal open. But this time her pen moved effortlessly, filled with gratitude, hope, and plans for the future. She realized that the journey of self-love wasn't just about feeling good, it was about knowing, without a shadow of doubt, that she deserved every good thing life had to offer. And so, Emily's story became a quiet revolution. She learned that loving yourself again is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong commitment. It's about facing your fears, embracing your flaws, celebrating your strengths, and choosing yourself every single day. If you are reading this and feel a little lost, a little unworthy, a little unsure of your own value, remember Emily's journey. You too can rediscover your worth. You too can forgive yourself, embrace your imperfections, and find the joy and confidence that come from truly loving who you are. Because the truth is simple, yet profound. You are enough. You are worthy. And it's never too late to love yourself again.